Hello, algebra students. I love these two examples that we're going to look at because these are two examples of how a simple skill can hide in what looks like a complicated example. Let's take a look. First one, the function, we read that as v of h. So basically the function's name is v. This is function v, but it involves h. H is in it. So that's what that v of h means. A function v that has an h in it is 2h to the third power or cubed plus h squared minus 6h can be used to find v of h, so the answer, the volume of a rectangular prism with a length 3 centimeters less than twice its height, h, and a width 2 centimeters more than its height. Use the function to find the volume of a rectangular prism with a height of 7 centimeters. There's a lot going on here. A lot of information, but I want you to pay attention to what they ask you to do or to find. It says use the function. Oh, how about we grab a pen? It says use the function. Well, there's the function. To find the volume of a rectangular prism. To find the volume. Find the volume. Well, they said the volume was v of h. They're asking us to find this with a height of 7 centimeters. A height of 7 centimeters. Guys, they told us height was h. They just gave us h. H is 7. And they gave us this function. It's an equation, basically, that's already solved for v of h. V of h is already alone, right? We just have that volume over there, and we know how to find it. We just have to plug in an h. So let's do that. Now, when you go to college, they're going to write v of 7 here. Now, they're not multiplying. They're just saying the volume when h is 7. But you don't have to write it like that. You're fine. But if you do see it, I don't want you to freak out. So the volume when h is 7 is equal to 2. H is 7. We're going to cube that plus 7 for the h again. We're going to square that minus 6 times that h. I'm just substituting in that value of h. And you can see, as funky as this looks, it's just a bunch of numbers on the right-hand side. So I'm going to type it into my calculator. 2 times 7, close quantity, raise that to the third power, plus 7 squared minus 6 times 7. And I get 693. Now, careful. This v of 7 that I wrote, it doesn't mean times v by 7, guys. It means that that's the volume when h is equal to 7. So you can just drop it if you don't like it. It's not more math to do. So the volume is 693. 693 what? Well, it's volume, so it's going to be measured in cubic units. And what was the unit? Let's see. Centimeters. So it'll be cubic centimeters. Somebody just asked me today, do I really have to know the unit? Do I really have to know it's cubic centimeters? And I mean, honestly, if I'm honest with you, the answer is no. They probably won't test that on the GED, although I suppose they could have a drop down where you choose it. But I want you to know it because you guys have to interpret all these word problems. I need you to have this mathematical reasoning. Remember, it's a reasoning test. So if every time you see volume, you think cubic centimeters, you're more likely to do some of the more complex examples correctly. Okay, so it's a good habit. Mama Kate cares about you. Please just do it. All right, next one. Find the value of function p when n equals 200. And again, we see that weird function notation, as we call it, where we see p of n. But this is just a formal way to say the function p has an n in it. All right, and they will also say function p in terms of n. But yeah, that's all it means, okay? And we can see that. The function p does have n's in it. So p of n is equal to the quantity of 750n minus 1,000 divided by the sum of n and 300. So if they ask me to find the value of the function p, they're asking me to find this when n equals 200 when I put 200 in for n. So let's put 200 in for n. So I'm finding p of 200. And again, you don't have to write in function notation, but I also don't want you to freak out when your college professors do it. So I'm just saying I'm finding the value of the function when I plug in 200 So 750 times n is 200 minus 1,000, and that whole thing is over another n, 200 plus 300. And you can type this entire thing into your calculator if you want to simplify it that way. But I think I'll do it by hand. So let's see, 750 times 200, 75 times 200 is 150, and 1, 2, 3 zeros. And that's going to be minus 1,000. All over, simplifying the bottom, 200 plus 300 is 500. And let's see, 150,000 minus 1,000 is going to be 149,000. I bet you're racing me and you already finished it in your calculator. Divided by 500. And here's where I don't want to do it by hand anymore. Fine. 149,000 divided by 500 is 298. Now, if I was being a good girl, keeping my left-hand side all the way around like I should have, you would see that your final answer is P of 200 is equal to 298. And remember, that's not multiplying to do. That just means when I plug in 200, the function value equals 298. So that is what you guys think of as the answer. All right. So moral of this story is don't freak out by function notation. All right. If it freaks you out, just call V of HV, call P of NP, and it's just evaluating from there on out. It's just as simple as we learned way back in the evaluating expressions lesson. All right, you guys, strong work. Happy learning.